it's Akansha from Tech Funding News. I'm the founder and editor, and I am today covering from the IFGS 2024, which is happening in this prestigious Guildhall in London, and we are taking this opportunity to talk to fintech experts which are actually transforming the ecosystem in the UK and Europe. And joining us today is the main person of IFGS itself, Roberto. And
I wouldn't call myself the main person, because I think our CEO, Janine Hurd, is the main person.
But you are basically the backbone. Sorry to interrupt, but you're basically the backbone. Like, you're the only person I've been having a conversation with for the last 30 days since I'm planning for the media partnership of TFN and IFGS.
Well, Akansha, thank you. My role is marketing and communications at Innovate Finance. So I try to lead that side of the business together with the team, and Janine, our CEO, fantastic, inspiring person. Very glad that you invited me and invited us to have this.
Thank you so much for giving an opportunity to TFN to be a part as a media partner. And taking this opportunity over here, I would really like to understand what is Innovate Finance, and then what is the IFGS Summit. It's the 10th year, it's an anniversary decade year.
Yes.
So I would like really start from the beginning and understand more.
So Akansha, Innovate Finance is a membership association that represents fintechs in the UK. So we convene the ecosystem together throughout many events, and IFGS is the flagship event. We promote the success stories of fintechs in the UK. It's been a very important sector, very much growing sector in the UK. And we also advocate on their behalf. So we have a policy team that is working with the government and regulators to make sure that the regulations are helping them to grow in the country. IFGS is the Innovate Finance Global Summit. It's a truly global summit. We have thousands of people attending, 270 speakers this year, 50 plus global delegations, international delegations attending the summit. So it's really the place to be, the 2 days to be if you are a leader, innovators, regulator, policymaker working in fintech.
So I just want to understand the backstory of it. Like, how was the idea really born? And you said, like, the team, how small was the initial team? Who was it? I would love to know that story and how far you've come in a decade.
So the story that I know, because I joined the business about 2 years ago, but the story that I know is that Innovate Finance started 10 years ago, and they were actually based at level 39 in Canary Wharf together with Revolut. And I think Revolut, they had a team of 2 or 3, and now it's a business with 40 million customers worldwide. Innovate Finance is a trade association, and it grew from 2014 to today. And actually, believe it or not, Janine was already part of the initial team of Innovate Finance, and now she's been a CEO for the last 3 years. So it's a growing association. We have 300 members already with us. It's fantastic to work with the ecosystem. So members include startups, scale-ups, and high-growth companies such as Revolut and Monzo, but also investors, banks, partners such as EY and Deloitte. So it's really connecting the whole ecosystem together.
That's very impressive what you've done over here. And I just want to understand that in 2024, what is the main theme that IFGS is focusing on? And also, what are your agenda? I mean, Janine's keynote was amazing today. And if you would like to highlight some points from her keynote, that would be great. And everything about the agenda and everything about your main goals to achieve with this year's summit.
So Akansha, if you listen to Janine's keynote, she talks about the past, but looking at the future. So talking about how much success fintechs have achieved in the last 10 years, but looking at the next 10 years. So the agenda is very much about the future, looking at what we've done, looking at the future. So regulation, what needs to be done, artificial intelligence, new technologies, connections with investors. It's looking at what's happening in the next 10 years in fintech. So it's having this look at the future, but with the awareness of what already has been achieved. And Janine mentioned actually the launch of the Unicorn Council for UK fintechs. This is really a fantastic group of CEOs of the unicorns and unicorns in the UK, really driving the agenda, asking the government what needs to be done to make sure that the UK stays the best country to start a fintech business and to scale it.
That's true. And I would like to understand more about the ideation behind this club that has been announced today. So what is the idea? Do you want more unicorns? Do you want to invest more? Want to talk about funding a bit?
So the unicorns actually, the UK is the country with the largest, one of the countries with the largest numbers of unicorns in fintech. So we have Monzo, Revolut, Clearbank, Zilch, all part of the Unicorn Council. So really the mission of the Unicorn Council is to convene together, like we had like CEOs of the unicorns today in one room, which is an achievement by itself, talking to the EST, to the minister. What is the mission? It's to ask the government to focus on specific things that they need to see change of, so that we can attract capital, we can make things easier for businesses, fintechs, but also for consumers as well. So it's really an agenda that is driven to talk to the policymakers and the government to make sure that these things are happening, because there is a lot of competition going on in the world in terms of fintech.
And also to get more attraction from the American investors, right?
Yes, as well. Investment from US investors and other countries, but also attracting the talent in the UK. So fintech, there is a war on talent basically, and making sure that the UK stays competitive, as the country to start and scale a business.
Got it. And how do you think is the current landscape, especially it has been a tough climate for all of us. We know that, especially the post-COVID era, and then surviving the crisis, the wars which are happening. So I just want to understand, how is the fintech landscape right now in UK? You have this club, you have this associations, you see startups, investors all the time, you meet them. So what do they talk about, and what is your perspective on this?
So you're right, Akansha. It's been a challenging 2023. But for example, in terms of capital invested in fintechs, the UK is the second country in the world to attract more capital than all European countries combined, just after the US. So the US is attracting more capital. So the positive news is that the capital is available, and it will always be available for successful fintech businesses or innovative businesses. But the challenge is still to get this capital flowing. And so working also for example, with the London Stock Exchange to make sure that these businesses are looking at London as the prime destination to do an IPO, for example, making sure that they attract the right capital at the right time. So capital is one of the most important things, but it's also the regulation side of things. So making sure the regulations is working for them and the talent. I think these are one of the key topics that CEOs usually discuss among themselves. So capital, regulation, and talent, how we can, and also consumers, how we can bring consumers at the center of fintechs always.
That's true. And what excites you most in fintech industry right now? There is crypto, there is payments, there is embedded finance, there is ID verification, which is coming into signatory management. I mean, I'm talking to so many interesting field management people. And what do you think is exciting UK the most right now?
A lot of things are exciting, but for me personally, it's going to be artificial intelligence applied to
I didn't take that keyword because I wanted to hear you to mention it.
Because think about the opportunities that can give us, like protecting consumers from fraud, for example, digital fraud. Artificial intelligence can help us. Making sure that we have a better service to consumers, that it's faster, that it's more effective, more cost effective as well. So I'm a little bit excited about AI, and also AI applied to marketing and communications. This is my field. So there's a lot of opportunities. We need to be careful how we use it, but I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Gen AI and AI, everyone is trying to get a dip of that, and we all are very excited about it. It's the most trending keyword. But at the same time, I would like to know, how do you view the diversity and inclusivity level, and how can UK communities and companies support that more, which is right now required in fintech space?
This is a great question, Akansha. So first of all, I would like to say IFGS this year is a very diverse, and it's been always a diverse global summit. Actually, we managed to have a 50-50 split between female and male speakers on all stages. So diversity is super important for Innovate Finance. So we're driving the agenda, let's say, on 3 different angles. Like gender diversity is very important with the Women in Fintech Power List that we launch every year. Last year we also launched the Pride in Fintech, which is really giving the visibility to LGBTQI+ community working in fintech, and there is an amazing talent pool in the LGBTQI+ community. And we're starting to also working on neurodiversity and disability represented in fintech. So for Innovate Finance, for the fintech ecosystem, diversity is super important. Are we there yet? We are not. So we need to work with our partners and our members to make sure that we are a diverse association, we have diverse members, we have diverse teams, speaking panels, diversity on all levels. So we're aiming there, we're not there yet, so we're still working on it.
That is wonderful, Roberto, and thank you for your time. I think you have shared some great insights and it was an insightful conversation. Thank you for joining TFN. Thank you so much for listening to Roberto and also to TFN. And if you want to hear what all is happening in IFGS, then stay tuned for more insightful conversations. Thank you.